Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, man dies in Clarendon crash. A man succumbed to injuries he sustained in a two-vehicle crash in midday, Clarendon on Wednesday night. Police named him as a 34-year-old Fabian Morrison, a laborer and resident of Buckner District in Clarendon. A police report said about 9:30 p.m. the crash occurred at the intersection of Central Avenue and Dr. Bell Drive and involved a black 2016 Atenza Mazda motorcar and a green 1998 Mitsubishi Lancer motorcar. Police said the Mazda motorcar was driving along Central Avenue in a westerly direction and the Mitsubishi motorcar was driving along Dr. Bell Drive in a southerly direction towards the intersection. Upon reaching the intersection, the Mitsubishi motorcar entered and was hit by the Mazda motorcar as it was passing Dr. Bell Drive. Police said the resulting impact pushed the Mitsubishi motorcar in a westerly direction, where it made a secondary impact with the stones and a concrete wall. The front section of the Mazda motorcar was damaged, and the driver received injuries to his right hand and complained of pain in the head, chest, and the back. The left section of the Mitsubishi motorcar was extensively damaged, with the driver complaining of feeling pain in the head, chest, and the back, the police added. Morris, the passenger, received injuries to the left side of his body. The injured people were taken to the Maypen Hospital, where Morris died whilst undergoing treatment at 12:01 a.m. Police seek public assistance in locating man wanted for rape. The Harborview Police are urgently seeking the public's assistance in locating Daniel Chen, also known by aliases Mini-Me or Survival Money, who is wanted for multiple cases of rape and larceny by trick. Chen is believed to frequent several areas, including Waterford in St. Catherine and a shopping center in Harborview, as well as parts of Waterhouse, Dunkirk, and Papine in St. Andrew. Reports indicate that Chen lures his victims through social media, particularly on TikTok, where he engages in online conversations. Under the pretense of sending funds, he reportedly requested their banking information. However, it is alleged that upon meeting the victims in person, he commits his crimes. The police are urging anyone with information on the whereabouts of Daniel Chen to contact the Harborview Police Station at 876-928-6001, Crime Stop at 311, or the nearest police station. Popular real estate developer hospitalized after assault and robbery. A popular real estate developer is reportedly in serious condition after being beaten by unidentified men who stole his firearm on Tuesday night. Police reports are that the developer, who is behind a number of high-end housing complexes in St. Andrew, was driving in the Barbican area when he was ambushed by men posing as the police and wearing uniforms. The businessman was subsequently beaten and his licensed firearm and a sum of cash stolen. He was rushed to the hospital where he was admitted in serious condition. The Constant Spring Criminal Investigations Branch is investigating the incident. Man deported to Jamaica for alleged crimes, acquitted of gun charges. A St. Ann man who was deported to Jamaica from the United States to face criminal charges has been acquitted of an alleged gun attack on a businessman. Kena 524 was found not guilty of wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony at the end of his trial in the circuit court in St. Ann on Wednesday. Trials involving gun-related crimes are closed to the public. The charges related to an incident in January 2023 in which the businessman reported that he was shot by an armed thug while standing near his home in the resort town of Ocho Rios. The businessman alleged in his statement to cops that Fife was his attacker. Fife was arrested by American law enforcement authorities in Florida and deported to Jamaica on February 12, 2023. He was taken into custody by the Jamaican police on arrival at the Saxor International Airport in St. James. Fife remains in custody, awaiting trial for murder. He was represented by attorney at law Donovan Collins. Another appeal refused for convict who left a birth certificate at a crime scene. A man who ran from a shooting scene, leaving his birth certificate behind after firing at the police, has again been refused the permission by the Court of Appeal to appeal against this 15-year-old sentence and conviction. The applicant, Fabian Manderson, who was convicted of illegal possession of firearm and shooting with intent, was sentenced in November 2020 to 10 years imprisonment and 15 years imprisonment on the respective counts. Among his new grounds of appeal was that the judge was wrong to have relied on the identification document to support his visual identification. However, the appellate judges said in the recent published judgment that the biographical documents were found about 50 feet from the abandoned motor car in the vicinity of a fence. It is an odd coincidence that the documents belonging to the applicant were found in an envelope on the very night of the shootout, in which he was identified as one of the gunmen. Added to that, they said, since there was no dispute as indicated earlier, one would have expected an explanation from the applicant for them being found where they were. None was forthcoming. As Lord Whitgray said in R.V. Turnbull at page 553, odd coincidences can, if explained, be supporting evidence of visual identification. Manderson had initially appealed his sentence and a conviction on the grounds of unfair trial and a false accusation by the witnesses, but was refused in September 2021. However, his lawyer, Kimoy Macaron, at the start of the hearing, abandoned those grounds and submitted new ground, including that the learned trial judge erred when he found that the circumstantial evidence of the biographical documents, which were not tendered as evidence in their original form, automatically supported the correctness of the identification and pointed in one direction only. The other grounds were that the learned trial judge erred when he failed to warn himself or demonstrated that he did warn himself of the need for special caution in the form of Turnbull directions in considering the identification evidence before he convicted the applicant, and that the learned trial judge erred when he failed to demonstrate that he drew all the witnesses in the identification evidence to the attention of his jury mind and critically analyzed them, to wit, the danger of having an identification parade 2 years after the first purported identification incident, and the effect of the biographical documents to include photographs of the accused, which were alleged to have been found on the scene. Portmore residents staged protest at the ceremonial opening of Parliament. Residents of Portmore St. Catherine on Thursday continued their resistance against a bill passed in the House of Representatives earlier this week to make the municipality of Portmore Jamaica's 15th parish, voicing their frustration over what they called a lack of consultation by the government. Before the legislation was passed, the protesters gathered with placards just steps away from the parliamentary building, where the ceremonial opening is currently underway. One protester, holding a sign that read "Gerrymandering Alert, Political Crab," told the news, "We wanted to be heard. We want our voices to be heard. We need persons to know that we are the ones who will be affected, and they must come to us to find out if this is lucrative to us." She was supported by several senior members of the People's National Party who were in strong opposition to the passing of the Counties and the Parishes Amendment Act 2025 in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. This protest marked the second demonstration in 2 days following a gathering on Wednesday at Emancipation Park in New Kingston. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.